Yeah, baby, baby. Woo. Does your crew run, run, run? Does your crew run, run? Hello, YouTube.
What up, what up, what up?
We got some really exciting stuff headed your way. Won't you die on me? All right. Thank you for joining us on this YouTube adventure. This is a live broadcast of the Brohio podcast. If you are easily offended or you are sensitive to sensitive topics, including anal penetration, drug abuse, alcoholism, midgets, dwarfs, then this is an episode that you should use discretion and you should not consume while operating a lawnmower, a blender, or a margarita machine. Does that cover it all, you think?
I think so. Yeah. Dude, the margarita machines will get you every
Fuck,
fucking time.
man, I was just about to fire this thing up. I got some Cuervo. Happy to have you guys in here. We got
man.
Twisted
What's up,
Sister.
what's up?
How
How's
you doing,
everybody
baby girl? Apollo, Catherine Wright,
Old Petey boy.
Canes, Brent, Little Miggy, Coble, Sarah Jade, LJ Walter. You made a lot. I made yeah. LJ, we miss you, buddy. Just kissed Lily. Okay.
Oh shit.
Pure shot. Dustin, Nicholas, thank you for joining us here. We're gonna get it started. P is for penis, poop, and pussy. It's also for podcast. Welcome into the Brohio podcast, the strongest podcast in the entire world.
I like that.
How powerful? Well, Robert, tell him how powerful it is.
Fucking powerful, man. I don't know.
Dude.
I wasn't sure where we were going with that.
You ever seen that video of that woman that can smash watermelons with her breasts?
Yeah.
That's...
Just beer cans, too.
Beer cans.
Yeah.
That's how powerful this podcast is.
Yeah.
Look it up. Put that in Chat GPT and ask it.
It's titty smashing strong.
Let's ask Chat GPT right now.
How strong a titty is?
Well, I know how, dude. I've put some fucking trauma on a tit and nothing.
Oh, yeah.
It bounces back.
You hit them fucking things around like some Newton balls. You ever seen this thing? Newton's cradle? Smack back and forth.
I'm asking ChatGPT, how powerful is the Brohio podcast?
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. In the past, 1
How
million
powerful.
downloads per month. Strong rating. Okay, this is like real shit.
Given statistics?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good for ChatGPT, man.
God, dude.
Thanks, ChatGPT, for holding this fucking podcast down.
No. Be funny. Dumbass. Oh, you got it. No, you don't want analytics. You want the truth. If you play an episode backwards, your grandma's urn vibrates and says, hell yeah, brother. It's the only podcast legally classifies both entertainment and biohazard, okay? The CIA has redacted entire Brohio episodes because they got too close to the truth about
That's true.
Bigfoot's OnlyFans. Chuck Norris once tried to listen. His ears filed a restraining order. Old Chuck. Old Chuck Norris, dude.
Oh, fuck, man.
Spotify asked them to tone it down. They responded by mailing a flaming bag of Arby's. Every time someone hits play on an episode, a bald eagle sheds a single tear and screams America. And finally, Brohio is so powerful it wants to cause a fart to echo through 3 dimensions.
Dude, that's what's up.
You want influence? The Brohio podcast doesn't chase trends. It farts in their face, high fives the devil, and holds hands with your uncle in a Waffle House bathroom. That's power.
Wow.
Dude.
This is very accurate.
That's how powerful
That's yeah.
the Brohio podcast is.
That's carrying a lot of weight right there, man.
Chuck Norris farted in a Waffle House bathroom. That's how powerful we are. Hey, thank you to our new patron subscribers, starting off with Tori Ferrara. Thank you, Tony Ferrara.
Oh,
Tori.
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 Yep.
Tony's her gay brother. Tori is who we're looking for.
Okay, thanks, Tori and Tony.
TF,
Yeah,
girl, thank you for being here. Thank you for your... Some people would say the fuck, but it's actually Tori F.
There you go.
It's not the fuck.
Not the fuck. Nope. The fuck.
TF, baby.
Next, we got Will Bilkins.
He's here.
I see what he did there.
My name's Will Bilkins, and I'm 73 years old, and I died in my own shit.
That doesn't sound right at all, does it?
I feel like it would be in his own piss. Will Bilkins died in piss.
My name's Will Bilkins, and I died in my own piss.
He fucking drowned.
I drowned.
You drown in a shallow puddle of piss.
Thanks, Willie Bilkins.
Hell yeah.
That's a quick reminder. We got a super secret Facebook group called the Brohio Podcast, Butt Chuggers Anonymous. Hey, you can join that super secret group if you'd like.
Yeah.
The password is Bill Wilkins. We also got a Patreon where you can get your name featured and all kinds of other cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
Go to patreon.com/Brohio Podcast.
Do it.
Mark Blake. If that's not a fucking white privilege name, I've never heard one before. Mark Blake.
That's true.
Yeah, dude.
The double first name is a red flag.
Oh,
No offense.
I've been living with it my whole life.
Say no offense.
I always press my mom and dad like, "Hey, why do you name me Nick?" And they're like, "Well, we wanted to name you Roseanne, but you weren't a girl."
Well, if they would have named you Alexander,
I mean,
wouldn't that kind of be cool though?
then I could have went by Lex for real.
Yeah.
Which could have, but Roseanne.
Such a good show. I loved that show.
John Goodman was.
Yeah, this is before they fucking killed Roseanne off.
I like when they all got high in the bathroom and got stuck.
Dude, that was some good shit. Back in the day, it's really good.
Roseanne's
Roseanne's criminally underrated.
She is. She's funny.
She is
She's
funny.
A very intolerant human, but yeah,
She's
funny.
pretty fucking rough.
She's not putting up with any bullshit.
Yeah, it's very opinionated, but it's all good.
Hey, if you're joining us on the YouTube chat, you can look behind us. We've started putting up pictures of people's dogs and cats. If you'd like to have your dog or cat or ferret or weasel
Or your nan.
or fish or your grandma
Yeah.
featured on the Brohio, we're going to call it, Robert, this just came to me. We're going to call it the Brohio Paw Wall.
Oh, dude, that's
Dude,
good.
come on.
Yeah.
The Brohio Paw Wall.
Oh, fuck, man.
Call it Jordy Still, tell him make me a grill.
You can
that just fucking reminded me. Keep talking. I gotta find this.
You can mail us a picture of your animal, and we'll put them up on the wall so you can look at the YouTube live stream and you can see old Fido or Sunshine or Mr. Bigglesworth, whatever you name your animal. Send it to our P.O. box. The price just went up on, and I'm keeping that thing open for you motherfuckers. P.O. Box 672, Vandalia, Ohio 45377, and you can send that to Attention Brohio Podcast, or you can do Attention CEO Nick or Rob. You can put that in there, and that will find its way to our desk. Well, every week I like to do something where I find a strange, I'm not going to call them newspaper articles anymore. They're just strange articles from all over the internet. This one's from Kentucky. Kentucky provides a lot of really nice content.
Gotta love it.
This fellow looks like he does drugs. Kentucky man arrested for releasing a raccoon into a business months after fleeing police on a mule. It's not funny yet, Robert. A man from Murray, Kentucky was arrested last week after police say he released a raccoon inside of a business, an old trash panda. This comes just months after the same man, he was arrested for attempting to evade police officers on a mule. That's right, a fucking donkey with a smaller dick. On June 6, 2025, Murray Police Department responded to a call that a person had intentionally released a raccoon into an open business, and then he fled the scene from there. Soon after, officers initiated a traffic stop on Jonathan Mason, who's 40 years old. He looks about 58. According to police, he refused to roll down his window or exit the vehicle. Officers physically removed Mason from the vehicle. Investigators learned the raccoon that was released into the business bit a person and that Mason was previously warned that he was not allowed on the property of the business. Mason was arrested and charged with assault, 2nd degree, criminal trespassing, 3rd degree, resisting arrest, failure of owner to maintain required insurance, 1st offense, and he was put in the Callaway County Jail.
Oh, man.
About 6 months prior to this incident, Mason was arrested for a different crime also involving an animal. December 24, Murray Police Department responded to a local bar after an unruly individual who had been asked to leave was refusing to do so. Officers found Murray outside the business under the influence of alcohol. Mason had ridden a mule to the establishment and refused to stop when ordered by an officer. And they continued to try to place him under arrest while he resisted. Witnesses told investigators that Mason whipped the mule at a different Mason whipped the mule at a different establishment an unnecessary amount of time. Okay, so he whipped the mule at another establishment an unnecessary amount of times in addition to mistreating the animal in other ways. I don't like when my mule gets mistreated, man.
You can't mistreat a mule, man.
This guy gets arrested about 2 days a week. So,
okay.
You know, he doesn't care, man. Look at this ad for these shoes, dude. Where the hell do I get those?
Those are fucking sweet, dude.
Would you wear those?
Fuck yeah, I would. That's
God,
cool as
those
fuck.
are cool, man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's crocodile heads you wear on your feet.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Those got to be for sale someplace.
For sure.
Coof,
dude.
Coof, Confandy. I don't know about that one.
Damn, I heard this really fucking funny story today, and I can't find the actual description of it. All I can find is the audio of the person's talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't really want to play somebody else's audio. Fuck.
Then don't do it.
It's so good. It's so good though. It's fucking right up our alley. You gotta give me a second. Give me a second. Let me find this because I gotta read this. This is too good. Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay.
We're paused. We're not recording. We're just on YouTube.
Okay. Sorry.
It's fine. Let you let me down again.
It's worth it. I swear. Okay. Let's see if this is it.
Paisley came down here the other day. She's like, "Why do you have corn on the cob on your desk?"
Oh shit.
So, well, sweetie.
Funny story. It's not real corn.
The corn your mother likes. Sorry, YouTube.
I'm sorry, guys.
Robert has a hard time finding things when he doesn't have his Kindle Fire that's wrapped in rubber coating.
Like I said, I easily found the fucking. I easily found the audio. I'm about to just give this guy credit and just fucking play it.
Just play it.
Oh shit.
Is it about Paul Wall?
It has something to do with him. Yes.
Called it Jody Stoltown, make me a grill.
Tell you what, let me. You have the Bluetooth hooked up. Let me send it to you, and then you can play it.
I don't know if I got it hooked up anymore or not. I think I disconnected it. Ooh, it says I'm disconnected. I'm connected. 3 devices.
Oh shit.
Connected. What is this thing called? A Rodecaster Pro.
Yep. So funny. All right, here we go. It's a this is actually just a Facebook video, but you'll have to.
Jesus. Who the fuck uses Facebook videos anymore, man?
I know, it's a Facebook reel. There we go.
Thanks, Sparky.
All right. Okay, I couldn't find the actual article that they're reading off of.
2006, well, 72 hours into a freak-off, Diddy instructed me to lock hands with Family Matters star Reginald Vell Johnson and yell "wee" as he slid through our legs on a lubed-up floor.
Are you telling me to pause it?
Yeah, pause it for a second. Just a little story here. This is someone who testified against P. Diddy.
Sorry.
He testified against P. Diddy. He was a male escort that was hired, and he was participated in some of like the freak-off events.
Okay.
Listen to this fucking story about what was said. Just listen to
2006, well, 72 hours into a freak-off, Diddy instructed me to lock hands with Family Matters star Reginald Vell Johnson and yell "wee" as he slid through our legs on a lubed-up floor, gently grazing our balls with the back of his hand before double-bouncing 90s rapper Ja Rule onto my genitals by way of mini trampoline, completely knocking naked comedian Bruce off his lubed-up big-wheeled bike. It was at this point Diddy yelled, "Hey, Ja, quit hogging the dick," grabbed me by my Velcro vest, stuck myself and rapper Paul Wall to the wheel of pleasure on the hotel wall, which Cassie stepped over Dustin Patrick Runnels' naked body to begin spinning while blasting circus music. As the wheel spun, I became unstuck and was knocked unconscious from the fall, only to wake up to Mr. Wall being instructed to retrieve his grill from my anal cavity while Diddy chanted "We gone fishing" into his megaphone. But as I attempted to stand up, still dizzy, I slipped on the lube, bumping one of the monitors displaying a video called "The Cassie's Now Husband," and was instructed that my tenure at the Freak-Off had been terminated due to that infraction.
It was at this point I walked into the hotel wearing nothing but a 1991 ECW championship belt as instructed, introduced myself to the fellas and Cassie's now husband via video call, and began fulfilling my request to place the belt at the top of the ladder before Diddy leapfrogged over both Reginald and myself, screaming "Is gon' rain," and began urinating on himself, Reginald, rapper Chingy, Cassie, and myself, completely
Not
fogging up
Chingy.
the scuba mask he had placed on me, as well as knocking comedian Cedric the Entertainer and New York Mayor Eric Adams off their two-man Sibian. I was then asked to slide over to Freak-Off northeast corner and enter the conga line position between athlete Bruce Jenner and scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson, while Diddy mounted the ladder, proclaimed that black does crack, then bent over to expose his anus while making eye contact with me through his legs and whispering "peekaboo." Noticing that eye contact was made, which he considered a freak-off infraction, he demanded I sign my freakignation with his dildo pen, and I was escorted out of the room without pay by who appeared to be Will Smith in a mesh referee outfit.
okay.
Mother of God.
I'm sure that's a bit, but still, that's chaotic.
I'll give credit to those guys. That's YouTube. That's
Ryan Long.
Boys Cast.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Can you imagine sliding underneath someone and fucking hitting someone's ball sack in a line of ball sacks with
Speed
back-
bagging?
Just fucking
Speed bagging on the slip and slide.
speed bag in a bag. Oh, dude, I was fucking dying laughing when I was watching that.
I never get invited to these freak offs, man.
Man,
I just want to go and watch.
I just want to see what kind of shit goes on.
I'll wear an ECW belt.
Yeah, dude, I'll make it to that ladder so fast, all the way to the top, boy. Oh man.
All right, let's
Good
take a break for our newest sponsor, Extreme Championship Wrestling. All right, thank you guys for the sponsorship.
Oh man,
So this episode, we're talking about one of my most favorite things, man, just history.
love it.
History in general.
Yeah.
And we've all been there. You're sitting in school, half awake, memorizing textbook paragraphs so we don't bomb the next quiz, exam. What if a bunch of the things we learned were just total bullshit? Which some of the things that we were taught growing up,
Absolutely.
the history books are incorrect.
Yeah. You know how long we were told about fucking Christopher Columbus being a hero?
There's a pretty good chunk in here about Christopher.
There's the majority of what we were taught the entire time,
Yeah.
our entire school tenure.
And you know, I've talked about this before, where we had the science book when I was a kid, and it talked about the extinction of the dinosaurs. And there was this picture of aliens getting on a UFO, and I just could never get that out of my brain.
That's
that
so
was
cool.
That was in a science book.
That's cool as fuck, though.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could find that. Or if ChatGPT could help me find that. Who knows? But oftentimes throughout history, the history books, well, they've been inaccurate and they've lied because the truth gets changed over generations and generations and generations to the point that the data that you're getting is not actually true.
You know that sharks are among one of like the longest living creatures like ever. Like they've lived through like 3 mass extinctions.
There's that one. Is it a Newfoundland shark or something? Those things are 700 or 800 years old and
Yeah.
still alive.
Well, they say that sharks in general, like they go back farther than the dinosaurs do, which is pretty fucking crazy.
The Greenland shark.
There you go.
is the longest lived vertebrate known, with some individuals estimated to be over 400 years old.
Like they can live that long. That's Are they? They can't be. I wouldn't think they'd be fucking bottom feeders if they're.
That's a shark that's been alive since the 1600s, dude.
Dude, can you imagine running across that fucking shark?
He is just tired of people's shit. That motherfucker has lived through Facebook, porn bush,
Yeah.
the Civil War, the American Revolutionary War, moats, castles. He's lived through all of it.
I'm sick of you fucking humans shitting in my water. You know how hard it is to digest a turd?
I'd love to interview a Greenland shark.
Dude, he's probably great, like the get off my lawn, like type of fucking, like old grouchy man.
So they call you a Greenland shark because you poop a lot? That's how I would start that interview.
Oh, dude, that poor shark.
There's a tombstone, or there's a lot of tombstones. A tombstone pizza at Walmart with just sausage on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
There's a cemetery down the road.
Fuck, what's going on right now?
Hold on.
Okay.
There's a cemetery down the road, and every weekend there's this little old man. He looks like he's every bit of like 80 years old.
Okay.
And he sits there on his wife's headstone all weekend long.
That's sad as fuck, dude.
And he writes her love notes, and he leaves them there. Just
That's
about how
sad.
just like their love is the strongest love that's ever happened. And while I do think that's beautiful, I don't think that their love is as strong as the love that you and I have, but I do think they probably had
for
a different,
sure.
But he's just, and everyone always stops and talks to him, and everyone always posts on the local Facebook group that he just has so many great stories. I thought about just parking up there with the microphone and stopping and talking to him, see if he would do an interview about just
That would be cool.
just like an impromptu pop
No,
up.
That'd be amazing.
Let's talk about your
That'd be really cool.
your wife.
Yeah.
Talk about you getting sunburnt sitting here all day.
Dude, it's fucking 90 something outside.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll sit up there with an umbrella when it's really hot and just sit there with his wife, man.
That's love, dude.
It is love. Even after my wife dies, I'll probably just stay at the house. Well,
Yeah.
Why? I mean,
Man.
I need to go talk to him.
Yeah. That for real.
Yeah.
You got to. That's something you got to do.
Check him out. Get some marriage advice.
Yeah. Just see if he fucking wants to talk. See if he'll do an interview.
Show me some tricks.
I feel like that's a great conversation to be had right there.
And he'd probably relish it.
Yeah, and that's all good and dandy. But let's get back to these Tombstone pizzas. What? Let's fucking.
Well, I got sidetracked. I said Tombstone, and I started thinking about pizza.
Dude, I fuck with Tombstone pizzas, man.
I fuck with all pizzas.
I do too. Pizzas are like my favorite. But
yeah, I'm still doing this 75 hard bullshit. And my wife got Jets pizza the other night, which is like
I haven't had Jets.
my favorite pizza. Oh, Detroit style,
Okay.
giant 3-inch thick crusts with cup pepperonis and just
Yeah.
covered in cheese.
I like me a good old fucking deep dish.
And it didn't take a single bite.
Some Giordano's.
After everybody went to bed, I looked around and I walked up to it and I picked up a piece and I got it right here and I put it back.
Look at you, fucking
then I went and got
control.
I went and got some Okios yogurt, which tasted like fucking cum.
Dude, it's
Naturally, I was happy.
it's really good for your sweet tooth. If you're trying to
Yeah.
eat good and you want something for your sweet tooth, that works really good.
For my sweet tooth, I'll get a banana or vanilla Okios,
Yeah.
and then I got that powdered protein peanut butter,
The peanut butter?
PB,
Yeah.
and I put that in the yogurt. I mix it up till it turns into like a fluff, and it's like a peanut butter mousse.
Hell yeah. And you're getting your protein in.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I had a little thing of chili today.
Ooh.
And some tuna.
Chili's that chili and tuna.
Dude, I did. It was
You're gonna get a diaper change in
in
about 20 minutes.
two separate times. I took in like 100 grams of fucking protein today.
It's biohazard. On to the topic. So we covered multiple things here. This is going to be one of those episodes where we kind of run through a lot of different things and talk about them, and probably interject our own anecdotes. We
Sweet.
just want to give you guys one last good episode before Iran blows us off the face of the fucking earth. That's kind of what we're hoping for.
Maybe they listen to us over there and they'll make sure to not bomb us.
The Ayatollah of rock and rolla. That's Chris Jericho.
It
That's
is.
but the Ayatollah is the whatever. the kids. I had to come home early today from work. I had a little appointment to get to, and I heard the kids talking. They were watching TV. They're like, what's gonna happen with Iran? And before they could even finish saying it, I was like, we're all gonna fucking die.
You probably caused that chaos.
Oh, dude, they started screaming. You know, it's like when little girls get. It was like when Dale and Brennan find out their parents are divorcing at the end of Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man.
yeah, they were scared.
It's sad, but it's funny.
I was like, I'm kidding, dude. Come on.
But we are.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I
but I'm
wish.
not.
I
But
wish.
I'm not.
So, first topic we're going to talk about something that was portrayed in the history books. Napoleon Bonaparte. He has been a poster child for short man syndrome for centuries.
Oh yeah, he has.
Napoleon complex is even in the dictionary. If you got someone in your life who's kind of overbearing or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of too pushy, you say, oh, he's got Napoleon syndrome. He's got the fucking little man's disease.
Yeah.
He's a midget. No, you don't say that. That's
I say
mean.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think about him having his fucking arm tucked in his shirt too.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how the pictures would always show him
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Well, actually, Napoleon wasn't unusually short for the times. He was around 5'6" or 5'7", which was,
fuck, that's like 7'3" now,
I mean,
right?
which was pretty average for a Frenchman in the early 1800s.
Yeah, Frenchmen are usually short anyways. That's
5'7", where my short king's at.
yeah, right fucking here, brother. I'm not 5'7", but still,
Oh, you're like 5'10"?
yeah,
Yeah.
5'9" ish.
The confusion came from a difference between French and British units of measurement and a healthy dose of British propaganda. So the whole tiny tyrant image was mostly made up to make him look ridiculous. So
By fucking some bean and toast eating bucktooth motherfuckers.
I don't know what she call him. What she call him? Little man syndrome.
Let's call him really short.
He's got Napoleon syndrome. He's got little man's complex.
I love you guys over there.
I am working through all the Harry Potters right now.
God, dude, love it.
I'm
The movies or the books?
The movies.
Okay.
Just started Prisoner of Azkaban,
Best one.
and I haven't.
Best one.
Chamber of Secrets. I find that hard to be topped.
Best one.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
By far.
All right,
By
I'm
far.
excited now.
By far.
I'm excited now.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It's the book especially is so awesome. I cannot that's the one thing I'm really excited to see the new series, even though they're making some really weird casting choices.
Sure.
I'm super excited because the series is supposed to be true to the books
Okay.
all the way through, and I can't wait. They started taking a lot of liberties with the films because the books were getting longer and longer as each one came.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't make, besides the last two, they divide up into two movies.
Now, did you ever play the video game?
The newest one?
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
I started to play it. It was good, but I kind of stopped.
I got bored of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I got like 3/4 of the way through and then I stopped playing.
Yeah. So Napoleon, he was a short king, just like us, and
That's what's up, man.
that's one thing that if you ever meet us in person, you'll say, "Wow, you've got really big radio voices, but you're not very tall."
Hey,
But it's all we can do.
you got to there's some give and take with everything, right? With
We
life.
We can't afford that leg surgery.
No.
You know, they do those leg extensions now, where
Yeah.
they have you seen that?
I've seen it, yeah.
A surgery where they cut your calf, your shin, and they add a boner to it or whatever, and then they make you taller.
I feel like that's only asking for fucking problems later in life.
I just want to be able to dunk a basketball.
Fortunately, we're white, brother.
Speaking of basketball, did you watch the NBA Finals last night
I didn't, but I saw the clip.
of his
Halliburton
ACL,
fucking-
or his Achilles?
His Achilles popping. You can see it pop.
That's gut wrenching.
And that sucks because he's a fucking beast.
He's a dog.
He
yeah.
was killing it.
He's good.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad.
Another topic that I've been kind of fascinated with over the years is Vikings. I've watched a lot of Viking documentaries, and I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I started to watch Vikings on Netflix, but they only got like one episode in and started watching Sopranos instead.
Yeah.
But I think the Viking lore and just everything associated with it, I think it's fascinating.
It's
And they're not really what they were portrayed as.
right. It's one of those things that like it seems really fucking cool and manly, and then you learn about all the shit that they did. You're like, ew.
I think they did a lot of gay stuff.
Ew. Well, I mean, that's cool. You know what I mean?
It's fun,
Especially as
man.
far as today's standards go. That's
Just
really cool.
Open up and be yourself.
Open up your fucking butt.
Open your boyfriend's butt cheeks.
Yeah, dude, just go right in.
Spit in there.
Right.
Hey, if you've ever had your butthole spit in, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to interview you.
It's one thing we will not do is yuck someone's yum. We're fucking
Speak for yourself.
we're tolerant as fuck. You don't need another dude's butt, go for it. You don't need another girl's butt? Shit, me too, brother.
Well, you're golfing with this guy
Yeah.
who I didn't know the guy.
Yeah.
Like, just
golf partner.
he was just there.
Yeah, because you get put with, if you're in a team of two, you get put with another
No,
group of
this
two.
is a friend that brought somebody.
Oh, okay.
And the guy just wasn't talking the entire time.
Okay.
You know, I was being Nick. I was giving my shtick. I was telling
Sure.
jokes and stuff, being
Yeah.
kind of inappropriate.
Right.
And then just out of nowhere, this dude's like 50. I hope he's not listening, but
Does he know about the show?
I think he does.
Okay.
He said, "My wife let me fuck her in the ass the other night." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Just no,
Hell yeah, dude.
unsolicited.
Right.
Really weird. Just, my
So-
wife let me fuck her in the ass the other night.
Sounds like a punchline.
I thought so, and I was waiting for the other half.
Yeah.
And I was like, "God damn, brother, how'd that go?" He's like, "I don't like it.
It's shitty.
I don't like it. She just complains the entire time."
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, what are you trying to tell me right now?
Are you saying you have a huge dick or she is a tight asshole?
Jeez.
Both.
He did not portray big dick energy.
Okay.
And another creepy encounter I had the other day, this wasn't on Craigslist, this was in real person.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to do is when the Reds have the businessman special.
Mm-hmm.
I work maybe 15 minutes from the stadium.
Yeah,
so
you're real close.
The day games, I'll go watch the day game. I'll leave work, take a half day, and go watch the game. And in right field, there's these like bar tables, and you
Okay.
can just walk up there and. Sorry, I almost vomited. You can just walk up there and stand at these bar tables, and you just like hang out with people and eat and drink. And you don't have to. These aren't assigned seats.
It's like a little balcony area.
There's like a 3-tiered balcony.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a bar up there, and you're on top of everything. It's really cool vibe. It's a party area.
Yeah.
But on a day game, there's not a whole lot of people there.
Okay.
Anyways, like I said, there's 3 tiers up there, and I was at the top tier, and there wasn't any like a table and chairs at the top tier, but there's still a bar that runs the entire length of it that you can look out onto the field.
Okay.
And I'm just leaning on the bar, and there's this guy next to me. It's this dude, salt and pepper mustache, probably 12, 14-inch ponytail,
Oh,
salt and
dude.
pepper,
Hell yeah.
big bushy mustache, big bulbous, just fat nose, eyebrows pouring out of his Nemesis sunglasses.
Just a fucking man. Just a specimen.
Just a creepy crawly dude.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Creepy crawly. Gotcha.
And he's wearing those sandals.
Oh shit. Was he a hippie?
No, he wasn't a hippie.
Okay.
I think he thought these were okay to wear.
Oh, gotcha. It's never okay for a guy to wear sandals in public.
Well, these are the sandals like it straps over the toe and over the ankle.
Oh,
What are those called?
those are like the Jesus 2000s.
The Jerusalem Cruisers.
The Jerusalem Cruisers. Yeah.
Something like that. But the scariest part of it, his toenails were the color of a banana,
Oh, dude, no.
and they were as long as a banana. That's
Uh-uh.
they're all rolled over and long, and it just
Yeah, brother.
looked like you need a fucking like a Husqvarna chainsaw to take these things down.
If you're a dude, unless you're going to the fucking beach or the pool, it's a hard fucking no, man.
And he had these sandals tight, dude.
Oh, dude.
I think he had some circulation issues or something. But in front of us, there was 4 ladies at a table, and they looked like they're probably in their 50s. Just older ladies out together enjoying the game.
Yeah.
And he leans over. So when he leans over from where we're at, he's essentially like hovering over top of them.
Right.
And he goes, "Ladies, how many cats do you guys have between the 4 of you?" And I took a step back, and I was like,
First off, that's funny as fuck. That's fucking hilarious. Was he? Would you say he was younger than them, or was he right around the same?
Probably the same age, just hard life.
Yeah.
He said, "Ladies, how many cats you got between the four of you?" And he did this with his fingers, like he was fucking writing in the clouds. He was just like pointing over top of all of them.
Okay.
And I took a step back just to establish that I was not with him,
Like
nor
holy shit.
associated with any way. And they just kind of gave him the side eye.
Did they answer?
He said, "You're probably wondering why I'm asking." And the one lady's like, "Yeah, I'm anxious to know." And he's like, "Yeah, it's 4 middle-aged chicks at a ball game in the middle of the day. You know your cat ladies." And they look fucking appalled, man.
I see his logic though. You know what I mean? I understand where he's coming from. Would I ever say that? No. You can usually pinpoint cat people, right?
Apparently he did. And
So-
he leaned over the bar to talk to them. And I looked down at his feet and his toenails were touching the ground because he was leaned over so far.
He
His
had his claws in.
talons. He dug his talons in so he couldn't fall over the top of the
Oh, dude.
ladies. What's that Bowling for Soup song? Girl All the Bad Guys Wants?
Yeah, girl, the bad guys.
Likes him with a mustache, racetrack season pass. That's who that guy reminded me of.
Okay. Oh, what a fucking crazy fucking dude, man.
Cruising in a Trans Am, does a mullet, make a man.
There's no way I could ever just say that to somebody. I'd love to be able to, but there's no
In
way.
sandals like that, too,
Yeah, right.
with baboon toenails.
Yeah, that's wild.
Disgusting.
Whew.
All right, Vikings are the next one here. And their imaginary horns. That's right. Every Halloween costume and every metal album cover shows Vikings rocking horned helmets. But in reality, no historical evidence has ever been produced that supports that Vikings wore horned helmets.
Interesting.
Archaeological digs of Viking burial sites have turned up plenty of helmets, none of which have horns. The idea came from 19th century romanticized depictions, especially operas like Wagner's Der Ring, Nibelungen,
okay.
where costume designers added horns for a dramatic effect.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Horns in battle would have been a terrible idea. They would have gotten caught on everything and make your head an easy target. Real Viking helmets were utilitarian iron caps with nose guards meant for protection, not flair.
Okay.
Also, Vikings were traders, settlers, and explorers, not just bloodthirsty berserkers. The horn helmet image is just one more myth.
I think they were rapers and pillagers too, but let's fucking
I'm a raper.
let's fucking whitewash that, I guess.
Sadly. I think there's a small percentage that were probably
Yeah.
criminal vagrants, but not all of them. Just like
You can't say all of them.
not all of them.
Yeah.
But whatever they were raping, they weren't doing it with horned helmets.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They may have been horny, but
That's-
they weren't wearing helmets. And where's my horny bros at? Stay horny, dude.
Cheers, brother.
Stay horned up.
Especially when we started talking about Tombstone pizzas, dude.
I'll stay rocked up like Mr. Potato Head.
Is that a thing? Does he do that?
If you don't know, then you don't know.
I guess.
If you don't know, then you don't know. You know, they're coming out with another Toy Story, like a Toy Story 5.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Toy Story's good, man.
It is. It is great, but
You got to go to Toy Story Land at Disney. That's where it's at.
Toy Story 3 was fucking.
That was a gut punch.
That was it, man. That was where you can hang it up. That was a good one to
That
hang
was
it
a
up
good one.
on. And then you can just do spin-offs from there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That was, I mean, all three of the first ones were incredible.
Phenomenal.
4 wasn't bad. It just
Yeah.
kind of an ode to my child, just a ode to farewell to my childhood. I felt like I was kind of leaving it behind.
You know what my son's getting into now, which he's watched this movie 3 times within the past week, and it's a movie that I abso-fucking-lutely love, and I love that he's like getting into it and he's like really liking everything about it. Is fucking Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And I know I've talked about this movie before.
I've never seen that.
Dude, it's so good.
Really?
It's so good. It's a book, but like Michael Cera's in it, Anna
Oh,
Kendrick,
okay.
Chris Evans, Aubrey Plaza, It's so good. So it's shot like it's got really crazy transitions, and it's very comic booky.
Okay.
It's on Netflix, I do believe. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. You're gonna love it. I know you will. It's fucking great.
2010.
Yeah.
All right.
So good. Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kyron Culkin's in it. He's one of the big characters. But essentially the plot is he finds this girl, and in order to get with her, he's got to fight her ex-boyfriends, and it's like all the fight scenes are like arcade beat 'em up style fight scenes. It's so cool. It's great. It's a great movie.
I'll check that one out as long as you promise it's on Netflix.
I believe that's what we watched on last night.
All right.
Watch it and let me know. If you don't love it, I'll give you your money back.
That's not what I want from you.
Okay.
You need to be a little more explicit.
Name it, brother.
You're gonna pay with that mouth.
So confident
Queer.
you're gonna like it. I feel like it's a super cool, cheesy, fun movie.
That'll be right up my alley.
It's fun.
Okay, what do we got next here? How about what we talked about earlier, Christopher Columbus?
Oh yeah.
We were all taught that in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue and discovered America. Except he didn't. And we're so convinced as a population that this motherfucker did discover America that we named a whole ass day off after him, and we closed all the goddamn banks.
The capital of our fucking city is named after him.
Oh, yeah.
Our state. Our capital of our city. Capital of our state is.
We got to change the name of Columbus.
Yeah, we do.
What should we change it to? Corn cob dildo. We've got one of those.
That's true, we do.
Let's think about that.
What's the vice president's name?
J.D. Vance.
Vance Land.
That'll go over like a turd in a punch bowl.
Yeah, it will. What a fun week this has been for politics.
Actually, great, I tell you.
It's been fucking awesome.
Columbus, he didn't land in America. He landed in the Bahamas, and he never even set foot on the North American mainland.
Hell yeah, dude.
He thought he reached Asia, and he never stopped believing that.
Fucking idiot. Get a GPS, you fucking moron.
Dude, check fucking Google.
Ways exist, brother.
Indigenous civilizations had already lived on continent for thousands of years. And if we're talking European explorers, Leif Erikson, a Norse explorer, beat Columbus by nearly 500 years. Around 1000 A.D., Erikson landed in what is now Newfoundland, Canada, and established a short-lived settlement called Vinland.
Ooh.
Columbus's expeditions were motivated by a desire for fine gold, spices, and a new trade route to Asia. That's crazy to me that hundreds of years ago, that one of the most sought-after currencies was spices.
Isn't that funny?
I can go to Kroger right now, and I can get about 8 metric ton of cinnamon for $4.
Yeah, right.
They used to fucking buy blowjobs with cinnamon back in the 1600s, dude, or 1400s.
Right.
You didn't need cocaine. If you legitimately had a bag of cane sugar, you could get 4 guys to lick you from top to bottom like a cat.
Can you imagine traveling around the world just to find some fucking cilantro and just realize it tastes like soap? Dude, I'd be pissed.
We need this for tacos. I don't know. Dude, I have started seasoning my food a lot more because I've been
I over-season.
eating some bland chicken shit.
Yeah. Dude, there's nothing worse than bland food.
No, there's not.
There's really not. Because you look forward to the food you eat.
We got a cafe at my work, and they served chicken tikka masala the other day,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a bunch of non
It's Whitey's.
tikka masala looking people in there. And I
Yeah.
said, I don't know what this one bite. I'm telling you guys, this is the first time I've ever put something in my mouth like this that just didn't have any, like, you couldn't, if you would have blindfolded me, I couldn't have told you what it was.
Yeah. That sucks, dude.
We used to play this game back in high school called Who's in Your Mouth, where we blindfold each other,
Yeah, been there.
and we wouldn't feed each other food, but we would take turns sucking each other's cocks. And
I don't know why I thought you were going to beat around the bush, but you fucking just laid it all out there. I thought you were just going to tiptoe around what your actual intention was, but no.
Never!
Dude. Yeah.
Who's in your mouth?
With all due respect, and
Get out of my room!
I mean this in
Dad?
the most respectful way. This is going to sound so fucking awful. If I'm eating chicken tikka masala and it's not from like a smelly brown person, I don't fucking want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I want that authentic.
I feel you, man.
I love it.
So, yeah, he was motivated by fine gold, spices, and a new trade route to Asia. Instead, he initiated centuries of exploitation and colonization. He and his men captured and enslaved the Taino people, forcing them into labor in gold mines and plantation. Those who resisted were brutally punished, mutilated,
Ooh.
hanged, or burned alive. In one infamous act, he ordered that any native who failed to bring a quota of gold would have their hands cut off.
Ow.
His governance of the colonies was so cruel that even Spanish authorities later arrested and returned him to Spain in chains.
Shit.
Despite this, Columbus was turned into a folk hero in the 19th and 20th centuries, particularly by Italian-American communities seeking to establish cultural legitimacy and a new homeland. Columbus Day was born out of this desire for recognition, and a massive PR campaign reframed him as a bold explorer rather than a colonizer, a raper, and a murderer.
Yeah.
Statues were built, cities named, and history books were whitewashed.
Mm-hmm.
But beneath that heroic image lies a story of a conquest, disease, and destruction, not one of exploration and discovery. What a fucking pile of shit he was.
Fucking white guilt's real, man. Sometimes it sucks being the fucking enemy. You know what I mean?
I'm not related to that guy.
Yeah, that's true. We're not, but still.
Still, man, I don't think we should do, honestly, knowing all that, I don't know that we should have Columbus Day anymore.
It shouldn't be a thing, no.
I've never read into that. I know people get upset about Columbus Day.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why is everybody upset? And I read this. I said, what an asshole.
I mean, if you look throughout history, white people kind of suck.
What a dipshit. Yeah, they've done some bad shit.
We fucking,
man.
our people, our ancestors sucked.
I'm still not paying reparations. I barely have enough money to pay my own bills.
I can't fucking afford reparations.
I can't afford to pay attention. You're trying to get me to pay people back from
Hey,
200 years ago?
every now and then I'll round up a Taco Bell. That's about what all I'm doing.
Yeah, man. I pay it forward all the time.
Yeah.
I'll go to McDonald's. And I'll say, hey, how much the person's behind me? They'll be like $17. I'll say, okay, I'm not paying that. That's
Yeah. Never mind.
But I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid do it Chick-fil-A. That shit's $60 a bag.
I will say there, whenever you are on the receiving end of that, there is not a better feeling.
I feel like jumping out of the car and chasing him down and trying to give him a blowy. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to know how much this means to me. And I need to show you.
What's really awkward though is when you pull up and they're like, "Oh, the car in front of you paid," and they kind of just look at you,
Just staring at you through the mirror.
and you're just like,
Yeah, I did
Okay.
that for you.
"Thanks."
Let's make this awkward.
And the cashier's like looking at you like they're waiting for you to say, "Oh, let me get the person behind me."
Dude, the most
And I never do.
The most, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the most uncomfortable feeling is whenever they're like, oh, they decided to pay it forward. The person in front of you paid. I'm like, hell yeah. Thanks.
That's it.
And you sit there and you wait for your Egg McMuffin and your Diet Coke.
You're like, "Sorry, I just had to pay for dance classes. I can't."
Hell yeah, brother. I didn't even have enough money to buy my own.
That person's obviously doing better than I am financially, so let them have it. Yeah.
You know what? I would like to pay for the person behind me. Do you take checks?
Don't cash this until Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to move some shit around. Can you wait till the end of the month to cash this, please?
It's just my fucking coffee.
What about old George Washington? This is
Oh,
one of my
man.
favorite stories in all of history. When I think about the first president, I think about a stoic, loyal, brave old man with wooden teeth.
Right.
Wooden chompers.
Yeah.
That's not quite how it actually went down. The myth that George Washington had wooden teeth is as persistent as it is false. Washington had serious dental problems. Dude, I bet that breath smelled like hot dog meat.
Like you say, turtleneck.
Yeah. Smell like fucking dead frogs.
Shane Gillis's George Washington bit is like the best fucking thing ever. You know what I'm talking about? Have you heard it? God, it's so good.
Oh, and he's just like, could you imagine finally getting to meet him? You're like, Mr. Washington, I've been waiting and he's like, I love America. Oh my God!
And those people whose breath really stinks, they're very they're very breathy with the way they talk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they hit those H's really hard.
How are you? Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Honestly, Hanukkah's hopefully here. You're like, God damn, Bert.
Chill the fuck out. It's always like, it's either like really bad breath, or it's like the smell of like cigarettes and Coca-Cola.
Eat a pine cone, bitch.
Eat a pine cone.
You know, hang a little tree from his neck. Like a rear view mirror. You stinky bitch.
Oh, shit.
Whenever I talk to someone with really bad breath, I hold my nose. So they'll be like, yeah, dude, I was in there and I saw it when I was in there taking a shit. Somebody came in and they're gonna try to clean the bathroom, and I'm trying to drink my coffee, and people. And I'm just like, oh yeah, brother, that's cool, man. I appreciate you being my friend and shit, dude. You're cool, man. What was the 80s like? God.
Oh, dude.
To be so unaware of yourself that you have breath that smells like rotting fish ass, and you just bestow it upon everybody. You just
and that's the thing, because you know those people. You can tell when when your breath is a little off, or when you fucking or a little ripe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you try to prevent other people from partaking in that, but to have no care in the fucking world.
You've heard of that hard R. Well, that hard H, halitosis, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
It's wild.
Upsets me, dude. Bad breath upsets me.
It's bad. Really bad.
So I know we're talking a lot about terrorism and shit, but bad breath is worse than that. Gross.
It doesn't take much to fucking fix it.
Doesn't. Just brush them, dude.
Yeah, just fucking brush your goddamn
battery acid.
Yeah.
Washington had serious dental problems, and he wore multiple sets of dentures throughout his life. Listen here. Some of his teeth, they were made from various different products, including ivory, gold, lead, and actual human teeth.
He had lead in his fucking mouth and other people's teeth.
No wonder he died when he was like 20. Some of which the teeth were bought from enslaved people. The wooden teeth myth probably came from the way stained ivory looked over time, brown and grainy, kind of like wood. Washington hated his dentures. They caused him pain and disfigurement, which is why many of his portraits show a tight-lipped expression. So no, he didn't whittle himself a mouthful of oak, but the real story is arguably even more uncomfortable.
You think that he would have just whittled the way of the fucking wood, just whittled himself some teeth.
Ivory. He had
fucking elephant tusks.
Elephant tusks up in that bitch.
Slave teeth, gold teeth. Gold teeth is kind of cool. That's pretty sweet. Every time I see someone with a well placed gold tooth.
Oh yeah, just one.
Yeah, I'm like that's
that.
fucking cool.
I've thought about that, especially one with like the diamond in the middle of it.
Oh yeah,
that's flossy.
The tooth jewels.
Yeah,
I think those look really fucking cool.
We should look into that.
Yeah.
I used to put aluminum foil on my teeth and pretend I had a grill.
Right, I used to do that too.
Robbed the jewelry store, tell him make me a grill.
Fucking
maybe
Paul Wall speed bagging people's nutsacks at freak offs.
Maybe you want to be feature on the Paul Wall, Beer Ohio Paul Wall. Well, you can send us a picture of your animal, and we'll put them up there.
Yeah.
This is an episode we covered in the very beginning. Witches in Salem were not actually burned.
Yeah.
When we think of Salem, we think of the Salem witch trials, with most people associate with women or witches being burned at the stake.
Why was it always women?
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
I think it was just they were fucking scared of a strong female back in the day.
Absolutely.
You know, because women were fucking supposed to keep in line,
God.
listen,
Women are lovely.
conform.
Women are lovely.
Love it.
I love it. I would never set one on fire.
No, not at
I've
all.
accused a woman of being a witch before,
Sure.
but I've never tried to light a woman on fire.
Never.
I accidentally lit myself on fire once. And I told you about my neighbor that lit herself on fire then tried to molest me.
Yeah, you did.
Well, her brother lit her on fire
Right.
inside of a car.
What a brother.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
And then that brother showed me his dick, and I had to tell on him.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You guys need to go back and listen to that episode. There was a big trauma dump there.
That was like fucking 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that.
I'd say it's a lot longer than that.
Is it? Time's relative, I guess.
Well, I could probably look back at my text messages between my brother and I. And
Yeah. I remember the story, and I remember everybody fucking reaching out to you like, "Are you okay?
Are you all right?
I saw it or I heard what you gone through, and I'm so sorry."
I'm fine. Leave me alone. She was a humper.
It was at that age where nobody wanted anything to do with Nick, and he had something good going on at that point in time. He harbors no ill will.
Where is It's not in here. I don't see it.
That's a bummer. Maybe it was like earlier this year.
I don't know. Ooh, here we go. I found it.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan. This is to my younger brother.
Yeah.
I pray that all is well with you and your family. I know this may sound crazy to you, but I was in a camp meeting service the other night. This is from my babysitter from when I was a young child, who's reached out to my brother and I, and we're in our fucking 30s now. And I was praying that God would search my heart and life and would show me if there was anything that was wicked or wrong in my life that I might repent off or give it to him to surrender to him. And there in that moment, God brought back a memory of you and your brother. I do not know if you remember it or not, but when you and your brother were young, I babysat you one time, and I had you all sit in between my legs, and I basically humped your hip bone. I'm so ashamed of what I've done. And truly had to put it in the way back, my memory that I had not thought of. Just fucking illiterate ass bitch. I thought of it again the other night. I know God wanted me to contact you and your brother to ask you men for forgiveness. To most people, this would be no big deal. It was something that happened a long time ago when we were kids. But it does matter. And a bunch of stuff about God. God made her hump my leg. Told my wife about it. She's like, "You are pretty good looking."
Did your brother say anything back to her?
Not when I was 5.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think he did.
Can you imagine somebody saying this and then you just leave them on red?
I think he said, "Leave me the fuck alone, you creep."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good response.
So, she's still alive. She hasn't been burned. She might be a witch. Anyways.
Who knows?
When we think of the Salem witch trials, most people imagine women being burned to the stake. That was Europe's style, particularly in Germany and Scotland. In Salem, Massachusetts, between 1692 and 1693, 20 people were executed for witchcraft, and none of them were burned. 19 were hanged, and one, Giles Corey, was pressed to death under heavy stones for refusing to enter a plea. Corey's last words were reportedly, "More weight." God damn. The whole hysteria was fueled by paranoia, religious extremism, and local grudges. The misconception that American witches were burned likely comes from confusion with European practices and Hollywood dramatizations. So we never actually burned any witches here in America.
Isn't that wild? That's crazy.
Burn them at the stake. That never happened.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident that stuff.
I'm sure it happened. Maybe.
If someone would have said, "Has a witch ever been burned in America?" I'd say, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, and maybe it's one of those things that it has happened, but it wasn't like a complete, anytime anybody was thought to be a witch, they bring them out, especially in Salem, and they're going to burn them.
They didn't have corncob dildos back then.
That's true.
That's the problem.
Everybody would be a witch if they saw one of those, though.
You think back then, like to unwind, they would masturbate? Like now, you get stressed out and you just want to chill out, you just jerk off.
Yeah.
You think they did that shit?
Probably not, because their genitals probably smelled too bad. Can you imagine being downwind of that?
Could you imagine just having a dick that stunk all the time?
Dude, back in the day, during the Salem witch trial, that it did.
And they're all uncircumcised.
Yeah, so it's super dirty.
So it just hung in there.
Yeah, just Fremunda just growing.
It's a cheese factory.
Strong.
You want some sharp cheddar on those crackers?
Ugh.
Which?
Yeah.
We were at a really nice Mexican restaurant by my work. It's called La Jaiba. You guys should check it out. But their food is just some of the best Mexican food I've ever had.
Mm.
There's a nice old Mexican woman that runs it.
Yeah.
Home cooked food. I mean,
Love it.
Home cooked Mexican woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, "How is your food so good?" She said, "What do you say, senor?" I was like, "How is your food so good? Are you a witch?" And she started laughing. She's like, "No, bruja."
No bruja.
I was like, "What did you say?" She said, "Bruja, witch." I said, "You're a witch. You're a bruja."
Bruja.
And she was laughing really hard. She's, no, senor. No.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I can't go to any whitey Mexican restaurant. Can't do it.
Taco Bell.
Fucking, that's good if you want something cheap, but if you want,
I'll wreck Taco Bell.
you get like the fucking craving for Mexican food. You know
That
what
is
I mean?
Mexican food.
It's
Put cheddar cheese in their tacos.
That's just true. They use the Mexican blend.
They have Mexican pizza, dude.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
Mexican food.
But goddamn, a good fucking Mexican restaurant just hits.
Yeah. They have enchiladas.
Dude, the rice and the beans. I mean, you just can't. I can never make rice or beans that taste like a Mexican restaurant does.
I've talked about this with my some of my other friends. I don't have many other friends besides you, but sometimes I talk to them.
Yeah.
And I think if I had to choose any other nationality besides American, I would want to be Mexican.
Sure.
Because look, I'm down with tacos, burritos. I'm down with Modelos. I'm down with chiladas. I'm down with.
They like beer. They like to nap.
And like, like, there's this old Mexican guy on TikTok, and for lunch every day he eats like a fucking stack of tortillas and beans.
Dude.
I'm like, I could do that.
Guacamole.
And
Ooh.
I love all of it. And fucking big booty Latinas and shit.
Dude, I'm telling you what. Fucking don't deport any of them motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
My wife's from Phoenix, and sometimes I'll make Mexican food, whether it's tacos or stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll say, "Am I doing this right?" She's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" And she's like,
Right.
"I'm from Phoenix, not Mexico.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not a Mexican."
There's that culture fucking rules.
It does.
It's
man.
so cool. That's the thing. Like, I feel like so many
It's a
other
cool culture.
so many other cultures are so cool. Like, I feel like the Indian culture is really fucking cool.
It is,
The
yeah.
Mexican, or the Hispanic culture in general is really cool.
Mhm.
It's like, but we don't. I feel like we don't really have that.
We don't have cult. We got Pornhub.
There's
and
cults.
Shit. Yeah,
We have cults.
yeah. Serial killers.
Yeah.
We have
School
the-
shooters.
We have the Indianapolis Colts.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Doesn't make any sense. What about Einstein? You know, I've heard a lot of times over the years people will say, "I used to fucking flunk math," and people say, "You know, Einstein, he failed math class too."
Yeah.
One of the most widespread myths in education is that Albert Einstein, well, he failed math while he was in school. It's often cited as proof that even geniuses struggle.
Sure.
Except that it is 100% false. Einstein was a math prodigy. By the time he was 12 years old, he was doing calculus and excelled in subjects like algebra and geometry. The myth likely came from a misinterpretation of a quote Einstein once gave, paired with confusion over the Swiss grading system, where lower numbers actually meant higher achievements. It's like golf.
Oh yeah.
Einstein later said, before I was 15, I had mastered differential and integral calculus. He may have had issues with authority and non-math subjects, but when it came to numbers, Einstein was fucking Einstein.
That makes sense. That checks out. I
He
feel.
was a natural.
Yeah, I feel like that checks out.
And one of the most fascinating events in history for me, the Emancipation Proclamation.
Oh yeah.
The event that the proclamation that freed all the slaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
False. The Emancipation Proclamation, it freed some slaves, but not all of them. It was issued by Abraham Lincoln in 1863, is often hailed as the moment slavery ended in America, but it didn't free all the slaves. It applied only to states that were in the rebellion or the Confederacy, where the Union had no control at the time. It did not affect slave-holding border states, Kentucky, Missouri, or Delaware, which remained loyal to the Union. Lincoln's goal was strategic: undermine the Confederacy's labor force and prevent foreign powers from siding with the South. Slavery wasn't officially abolished until the 13th Amendment was ratified in 1865, nearly 2 years later. So while the proclamation was a huge symbolic step, it was not the end-all be-all of slavery.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Sure.
The assassination of Abraham Lincoln is my favorite history topic in all of history topics.
Yeah.
There was some parts in here about John Wilkes Booth, and we did an episode on the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and the conspiracies surrounded around that. There's an AI video out right now.
I was gonna ask you if you've seen that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
So there's a huge AI is getting fucking crazy with these stories and with these videos.
Honestly, I don't like them.
So
I don't like them.
I sent you the one. I think I sent you the one. And there's a big series on TikTok called Pleasant Mart, and it's like. It starts out and it's just like a person holding a microphone and like, "Hi, we're here at Pleasant Mart and we're asking shoppers, what are you buying?" And then whatever happens afterwards, it's completely AI generated, but it's so fucking funny and it looks so real.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things. The
Dad,
Sasquatch.
it's your boy John Wilkes Booth. Got a little mission tonight. About to sneak into Ford's Theater and crash out. Sheet's about to go historically viral. Trust. All right, Gooners, we're inside now. I'm about to put this guy on a t-shirt. Mission is a go. Chat, we did it. Mission complete. Rolled my ankle on the jump, but totally worth it. Drop a W Booth in the chat. I'm out. Dad, it's your boy.
Drop a W Booth in the chat.
It doesn't look fake at all.
No, it doesn't look fake, and like it.
So I don't like AI, man. I really
Obviously, it's fucking real, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it seems, it's just fucking good.
It's weird. Chastity belts, those things you put on your wife to keep from the mandingo coming to the house and clearing things up, were largely fictional. The chastity belt, a metal contraption supposedly locked onto women by jealous husbands before they left for war, is mostly a myth. Most of the surviving examples are from the 1800s and were never intended for actual use. Many were made as a gag item, torture devices, or museum fakes. There's almost zero evidence of widespread use during the Middle Ages. The idea likely stems from Victorian-era obsessions with sexual morality and control. Some scholars believe chastity belts may have existed, but they were rare and not all common practice. The popular image of armored underwear is more historical kink than medieval reality.
I think some fucking armored underwear, brother.
I'm still in serious negotiations with my wife about tighty-whities.
Oh, so you brought it up?
I said, what would it do for our marriage?
Okay.
And she led with, I would divorce you. And I said,
that's
you,
strong
you
over
would
some underwear.
divorce me if I wore tighty-whities, is what you're trying to say. Yes.
Wow.
Any other stupid questions? I said, what if I was wearing them and you didn't know it? Still got upset. Doesn't want me to wear them. But I think if I just get briefs, not necessarily white briefs,
Yeah. Okay.
and I call them booty shorts.
You gotta get them already brown.
Get them pre-fudge striped.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Keebler and his elves and get them fudge striped before.
Yeah.
Get them fudge striped at the Amazon factory.
Put them in a small hole in a tree.
Fudge stripes, Keeblers, fudge stripes.
Just let the elves do their work. Yeah.
I got elves living in my butt. That's my problem. All right. So there's also a myth that human experimentation only happened in Nazi Germany. We've proved this is unequivocally false. Because the 1940s and the 1970s, the U.S. conducted radiation experiments on its own people, often without consent. Terminally ill patients, pregnant women, and even children were injected with plutonium.
Damn.
Were exposed to high doses of radiation. In one case, mentally disabled boys at a state school in Massachusetts were fed radioactive oatmeal by researchers from Harvard. Why is my oatmeal glowing? My oatmeal tastes like Ninja Turtle ooze. And this was thanks to Harvard and MIT as part of a study sponsored by the Atomic Energy Commission and none other than Quaker Oats.
Oh, shit. Sponsored by Monster Energy Drink.
Kyle.
Come fucking get your radioactive oatmeal, you fucking idiot. Dude. I would probably eat it. I love oatmeal.
I dare a motherfucker to feed me radioactive oatmeal, see if I don't eat it.
I love oatmeal.
I will tear it
Love
up.
it. God.
So that's my go-to breakfast right now.
Me
is
too.
Oatmeal, and I'll put that PB powder in it, and I'll
Yeah.
drop some blueberries in it.
Nice.
Maybe even a little bit of honey. Shit.
Ooh, boy.
Goddamn, boy.
Yeah, I fuck with oatmeal hard.
Oh, damn.
Love it. Mm.
This is a fun one, too. The Pilgrims in the first Thanksgiving. What was taught was the Pilgrims and Native Americans sat down for a harmonious Thanksgiving feast, symbolizing peace and cooperation. In reality, the 1622 event was not a formal Thanksgiving, but a harvest celebration, and the relations between the Pilgrims and Wampanoag were tense, to say the least.
Sure.
Driven by survival needs rather than friendship. The Wampanoag tended partly out of diplomatic necessity. Later conflicts like King Philip's War from 1675 to 1676 showed deteriorating relationships between the Pilgrims and the Indians. Textbooks often omitted the broader context of colonization, disease, and displacement. The story was kind of romanticized in the 19th century to promote American unity and a sanitized origin myth, but Thanksgiving was not like we have Thanksgiving. It wasn't a time of fellowship. It was just a large group of people eating, and they were on edge the entire time, probably wondering who was going to fire the first cannonball or swing the sword. I don't know what their blunderbuss.
Which is kind of, it's really, it shows like the naivety of like everybody who believed the story like after that was told, because like you're talking about a group of colonizers that came over and intruded and took over the land of indigenous people, and took it over and kicked them out. But they're just going to harmoniously sit there and eat together, and it's it makes absolutely zero sense.
And one thing I didn't know, that the Texas Board of Education, they actually select the history books used for all of Texas. So textbook writers can cater to Texas government system when they write these textbooks, and they can put kind of very opinionated
Sounds like North Korea to
article.
me.
Yeah.
It's very North Korea-ish.
Texas, brisket, Longhorns,
Buc-ee's.
We're getting a Buc-ee's so soon. I
know.
cannot stand going to Huber Heights, though.
I keep passing through there, and I'll pass it every now and then just to go off the cruiser route just to see if there's anything popping off construction wise.
There is,
and I'll drive through there just to get an update. And God, it's on so much land.
It is.
It's so fucking big.
We're gonna Dutch Bros too.
I saw that. Yeah,
that's a big deal, man.
That's huge.
That's a huge.
You're gonna go broke.
I know.
Yeah.
She goes to 7 Brew every single day.
Yeah. I don't like 7 Brew.
What have you got from there?
Several different things. Even like normally I'll just get a caramelized coffee, cream sugar. It's not good every time I go there.
And this is funny. We went to the drive-thru there with my wife. I was like, "Give me a large iced blondie, extra sweet with toasted marshmallow." That's not for me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Give me just a large black cold brew with a shot of espresso.
There you go.
And then she leaned down and put her head in the car and was like, "That's a man's drink." Enough for my wife's like, "Okay, thanks." Never fucking made
Never allowed to go back there again.
butt cheeks quiver over my coffee order.
That's a fucking man's drink.
It's a man's drink. I remember we left there and
She fucking creamed her bloomers, dog.
young, like, you know, the teenage, which I don't.
Yeah.
Young ladies just don't know.
I get it.
There's nothing there for me.
Yeah,
Dog.
yeah.
I got girls that look like you hanging out in my house, so I got to feed pizza and protect them.
No, I totally get that.
Cool on that, brother.
Right.
But she's like, "That's a man's drink." She didn't say that's something my daddy would order.
Right.
She said, "That's a man's drink." Yep.
That's for me.
Got a stinky dick and balls between my legs. Men are disgusting, though. They're fucking
Oh, dude.
disgusting pigs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guy at the Cincinnati Reds game, just a disgusting creature.
Yeah.
And they always send pictures of their penises and stuff.
Dude.
Disgusting creatures.
Yeah, we're fucking weird.
The last thing, the last thing here, the myth is that Henry Ford was a brilliant American innovator who revolutionized the automobile industry and treated workers fairly. The truth, though, he also published The International Jew, a series of anti-Semitic articles that became wildly popular in Nazi Germany. Adolf Hitler reportedly admired Henry Ford and even mentioned him in the Mein Kampf book.
Ouch.
Ford's newspaper, The Dearborn Independent, peddled conspiracy theories that Jewish people were responsible for all of society's problems. Despite later issuing a vague apology, Ford never officially personally renounced his views as being an anti-Semitic person.
And this is funny. This is one of those things that I find, like, I love seeing hypocrisy in things. So, like, you see all these stories of people, like, who politics aside, even before this administration even went into office, people getting these fucking, you know, Teslas or, you know, Cybertrucks, Tesla still, but still, and their shit's getting, like, keyed and vandalized and spray painted, and they're called Nazis. But there's things like Volkswagen, who, you know,
Volkswagen
it's literally a fucking German company that's sponsored and paid for by fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
And then you got Henry Ford, but none of this shit happens to those things.
Yeah,
And it's like,
okay.
it's so weird. It's so weird to me. It's like people just pick and choose.
Recency bias, man. Everyone's
know.
done bad shit.
Absolutely.
Some people have done a lot worse than others.
And then these people will still fucking, like, jizz their pants over Disney, knowing that he's a fucking Nazi sympathizer. Like, maybe they don't know, but still, that it doesn't change their views, which is wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and that's why I don't. That's why I don't dislike a brand for instance, like when Bud Light gave beer to Dylan Mulvaney.
I could give a shit less. Yeah.
I mean, Bud Light sucked really bad before they let a trans person endorse it. Let's be completely clear.
Right, it was always bad.
But it never made me hate it or like it any more or less. It just, and like a cyber, like someone said, "Nick, you want a Cybertruck?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, give me a Cybertruck."
Are you a fucking Nazi?
I wouldn't be like, "Hold on a second.
Yeah.
How did Elon get that black eye?" You know, I'm not. I don't care.
And I think
and that's been my hardest. I've been slowly getting back on Facebook, and man, I've got the amount of people I see now, I've got it whittled down to so little people that I'm actually friends with, because everyone just like, "I can't believe you voted for I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. Who cares?
it doesn't make sense to me, because it's one of those things where it's like, especially like with you and I, where like politics isn't a huge staple in our lives. So like, if you didn't know our vote, like the way that we voted, would it fucking matter? You know what I mean? Like, we're not different people because of who.
And I never became friends with a single person on my Facebook feed strictly because of our political identities.
Yeah, any sort of beliefs that we have.
You're
Right.
like, oh,
right.
you're a Democrat? You're a Republican? You're an independent? Yeah.
I can't be friends with you, or I can be friends.
Oh, yeah. Let's be friends.
Right.
You voted for Ross Perot. Let's be friends. Although if you did vote for Ross Perot, I guess you're my kind of people, I guess. Cause
Fucking splitting the line, right?
that dude had some big old honking ears.
Dude, he had huge ears. Love it. He never won, but he fucking kept going. That's persistence right there. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, hey, that concludes our episode of When the History Books Lied to Us.
Boy, did they.
I would also like to give you listening some words of encouragement. Around the holidays, I started getting out of control with my eating, quit exercising, quit taking care of myself. Just doing a lot of bad shit, you know. I'm not going to elaborate. I wasn't doing heroin or anything, but just like...
Say, damn, dude, what'd you go through?
Fucking some shit, man.
You fucking saw God.
Yes, you can with Narcan.
Right.
But I tell you what, if you're somebody out there that's like, you feel hopeless, you feel disgusting, you feel just like, I'm not really serving a purpose right now. You know, recently I got back in the swing of things, lifting some weights, exercising, walking the dog, just enjoying the outdoors, reading self-help books, drinking water, and making better decisions about my food, about my habits. And I tell you what, there were some dark nights in the wintertime this year where I was like, what fucking purpose am I serving here?
Winter's hard anyways, man.
It is hard. And it felt like seasonal depression.
Seasonal depression, absolutely.
But
I had it bad this past year.
It bled into the winter time. It bled into the springtime where I was still like, I hate myself. I hate what I've become. I hate. I'm never coming out of this funk. Well, if you're someone out there that you're maybe in a funk, just, you know, I read this in a book called Atomic Habits. It's a really good book. Every time you do something good, whether that's you choose just like water over that Mountain Dew, or, you know, you go for a walk instead of coming home playing video games. Every time you do something good, that's a vote for the better version of yourself. Every time you do something really bad, you know, you eat that deep fried cheeseburger, you eat, you watch, this mind-numbing, dumb fucking, what do you call it, brain rot shit, whatever.
Brain rot's cool as
You're
fuck.
voting for that bad version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you're casting those votes for that better version of yourself. But kind of what I finally wanted to get to is, now that I've got exercise and kind of eating better and getting my water, now that I've got that stuff back into my life, I feel a whole lot better about myself. And I feel like my self-worth is back, and I'm treating people around me better. And I'm, you know, sometimes if you gain weight or your hair doesn't look the way you want it to, or maybe you don't look the way you want to, it makes you want to avoid people. It makes you like, man, I've gained 20 pounds. I really don't want to talk. I don't want to go to that party. Yeah. I don't want to do this. I don't want them to see me like this. Well, eventually you paint yourself in a corner where you stop seeing people, you stop doing things, and none of us want that for you. And that's kind of how I was feeling. I was like, I don't want to go do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want them to see me. But just exercising, walking, lifting weights, doing some. If you don't have, say you don't have weights, you don't have access to a gym, YouTube is seriously there. Type in 30-minute calisthenic workout and just do it. Raise your heart rate. And when you're all said and done, I promise you'll be like, you know what? I'm really glad that I did that. And have you ever scrolled TikTok and been like, I'm really fucking glad I did that for 2 hours?
That's true.
Never do it.
I mean, the thing is, like, you can still do those things.
Oh yeah, you can.
But that's the thing. You just prioritize little habits. Whether it be, you know what, instead of, if you're a person that's completely sedentary, take a fucking walk around the block.
It's gonna make a difference.
Come back and then start small. Those small incremental changes will lead up to, and you'll realize that you're feeling a little bit better.
One day, run the last 50 feet home.
Yeah.
The next week, run the last 100 feet home. By the time you know it, you're going to be running the entire walk. You're just going to be like, I can do this now.
Yeah.
And I can't express enough how much just like doing those things has helped my mental health aside from, I mean, I don't have a bad life. I mean, I think I have kind of what this podcast has afforded us and the situation it's put us on in life. I consider like I'm a very fortunate human being. The podcast aside, I got a family that loves me. I got a healthy family.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just don't feel great about myself.
Sure. I think we all go through that, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it's something as simple as like if you're a person that's always inside, getting a change of scenery. You know what I mean? Like whether it be, you know, you're just getting the fuck out and then going and whether your thing is like go to a Starbucks and chill there for a little bit, but just getting out and just doing something, it's almost motivating. I like that. That'll keep you from being in that sedentary mindset where you're like, I don't want to leave. Fucking go to the grocery store and just walk around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that, and if you're someone that needs to go on a diet, you know, don't crash diet. Just this week, tell yourself, I'm gonna cut down to one. I'm gonna switch to diet soda, and I'm gonna switch to one a day.
There you go. Yeah.
That is not. That is so easy to do. Still, you don't have to change your diet, but the small incremental changes, that's going to be like a giant wave building, man. You're going to say, all right, now next week I don't need any soda.
Yeah.
The week after that, I'm switching to like they got like, you know, sugar-free dressing and shit for salads.
Right.
I'm gonna start looking at the labels. I'm gonna start reading the labels on shit. Not even change my diet. I'm just gonna start reading the labels to see, hey, is this good for me or is this bad for me? And you can literally take a picture of a label and ask fucking Google, is this good for me or is this bad for me?
Yeah.
But maybe you're someone that's in a rut. You're in a mental rut. You're not feeling great about yourself. You're not feeling your self-worth. Well, you know what? The reason you don't feel great about yourself is because you're not taking care of yourself. And not taking care of yourself doesn't mean, oh, you're eating bad. You're not.
Yeah, not at all.
You're just not taking care of yourself. Do the things that you like. Do the things that make you feel good. If you play video games for 4 hours, does that really make you feel good? I don't know. More of a time occupation thing.
Sure.
But if you took a walk and you ate a grilled chicken salad, you'd be like, you know what? Those are good choices.
Right.
And you're gonna feel better about yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And at the end of all this, we love you. We want to see the best version of you, and we want you to be here for the best versions of us. And if we can help in any way, send us an email. I'll talk to you about what's helped me, and Robert can talk to you about what's helped him, and we can all work together.
We also want to make sure everybody sticks around for as long as fucking possible.
Yeah, because if you guys all die, who's going to fucking listen to our podcast and get us paid?
Exactly. We appreciate you guys listening, though, for real.
Love you guys.
Love
Have
you guys
a great
being here.
week, and we'll talk soon.
Love you guys. All right. Fucking hour and a half of nothing.
I only have 5 pages of research.
Yeah, dude. I knew. These are the ones we fucking thrive on.
I know.
Ain't that right, YouTube?
Yep. Dustin, love you, buddy. So happy you guys are all here. Nick, I saw you online for Fortnite the other night. That's probably one of my kids playing. I don't fuck with Fortnite. Sometimes I do. Very rarely. Robert, if you are a prisoner locked in Nick's basement, blink twice at the camera.
I was blinking.
That's true.
A little fucking sex slave.
All right. Well, guys,
Love you guys.
take care.
Have a good night, good rest of your week.
We love you.
Try not to get too hot outside. It's fucking brutal.
It's awful.
At least here it is. Bye.